Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. It is another week, the Iron Banner has officially concluded, and now we have some things to consider coming up to the March 27th update. Of course, the game is receiving a lot of enhancements to the way you play the game. Your character is going to move faster, your weapons are going to do more damage, and the game overall should feel a lot more action-packed. Of course, we're getting some other features as well that should give us a reason to continue to play. But for now, we're going to go back to the usual and take a look at the weekly activities to see what we have in store for us this week. Let's jump into it. Alright, so as usual, let's kick things off by taking a look at the weekly milestones. We all know them pretty well. The flashpoint this week is on IO. There are no special events going on this week. There probably won't be anything going on next week. My guess is that we're going to have a faction rally starting on the 27th when the next patch drops. Now, even though there's nothing really going on in the game right now, it's a great opportunity for us to take a look at our arsenals, because of course they are going to be buffing a lot of the different weapons, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later. But first up, we have the Nightfall on a Garden World, which is on Mercury, of course requiring Curse of Osiris. No big deal. For those of you who still are playing, there's a good chance you own it. Anyways, I do want to stop by the Crucible and mention a couple changes that were mentioned in This Week at Bungie. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really summarize that news, but they did talk about some of the changes coming to the Crucible as a whole. They're going to be buffing respawn and revive rates, so you're going to be able to respawn a lot quicker. Power ammo respawn timers are a lot quicker as well, and you're going to be able to pick up power ammo from anyone who drops it, which is a pretty big deal. Another big change coming to the Crucible is that in the competitive playlist, there will no longer be a tracker for any of the game modes. I actually think this is an incredible change, and it's going to promote a lot of communication within your team. It'll also get you to learn the maps and understand where enemies might be coming from. Also, very soon there's going to be a weekly rotating playlist for the Crucible. So far we have the game modes of Rumble and Mayhem confirmed for that playlist. My guess is that they're going to be there in the off weeks when Iron Banner isn't active. Now, of course, a lot of people, including a lot of Twitch streamers and other YouTubers, are complaining that it is a temporary addition to the game. They really want Mayhem or even Rumble especially to stay there permanently. But of course, we'll have to wait for enough player feedback. Maybe they'll make it permanent over time, but for now it's going to be a weekly rotating playlist. But anyways, moving on, we can go ahead and look at the weapons available on the tower vendors. We have Lord Shaxx with the Nature of the Beast. This is, by all intents and purposes, a great hand cannon. The only issue is I really can't stand the recoil animation. It just kind of throws off my game, so unfortunately this is a gun that I'm staying away from. Moving on to Commander Zavala, we have the Nightshade. This is already one of my favorite weapons to use in PvP, but it is getting a buff as well to bring it in line with other weapons to make it just as effective. Now, if you did get a chance to take a look at This Week at Bungie, virtually every weapon class in the game is getting an increase in weapon damage for PvE. Also, every single weapon class is getting increased aim assist, increased precision multiplier, and reduced flinch. Power weapons like sniper rifles and shotguns are getting a base ammo increase, so you can keep more with you to make it feel a little bit more like a power weapon, really in the sense that you can do a lot more damage with the weapon before you run out of bullets. I'm going to save the main overview for all of the changes once we have actual numbers, but it does look pretty good. We're going to be able to run a lot faster, do more damage, and overall have a more exciting gameplay experience, which I'm very much looking forward to testing out. Anyways, moving on to the Eververse Trading Company, we have some items available from tests that you might want to pick up. We have the ornaments for the Graviton Lance and the new one for the Rat King, the one that's called Catacombs. It looks kind of cool, but I'm just not a huge fan of this weapon anyways. But if you are missing this ornament, this is your time to pick it up. Also, last week I did want to mention that there was an armor piece for the ornaments, and I neglected to realize that, of course, this would be different for hunters and warlocks. I only covered what was there for the Titan, and if that happens again, I'll make sure to get all three classes. Moving on, we have the chest piece available for the Eververse set, and we also have the sweeping emote available, so if you're missing this, this is your opportunity to pick it up. And finally, for the shaders, we have Fermius Blue and Midnight Talons. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the weekly reset. Again, nothing super exciting for the next couple weeks, but of course the March 27th update should prove to be very interesting. I do want to give a quick apology for not having a ton of content last week on the channel. I had a lot of other projects going on, including my new podcast, Nerd on the Podcast. I'll leave a link to it down below. We're actually doing a lot more for the YouTube channel for that podcast. We're doing things like live streaming different games and different board games. We're doing Let's Plays and playthroughs, supercuts, things of that nature. And very soon we're going to have a very exciting announcement coming very soon to that channel. So if you're a fan of all things nerd, I'll leave a link to that down below. Really, just in case you're curious about the other big creative thing I'm involved with. Anyways, do you think the March 27th update is going to be the game changer it needs to be? Let's discuss. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time.